Special thanks to GetTheTea.com for sponsoring today's video. Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. It's your boy Brooks here, and today we're taking a look at a video from NBC News. It's called How Gamers Are Facilitating the Rise of the Alt-Right. Let's check it out.
Before white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and white nationalists marched in Charlottesville, Virginia in August, they were organizing behind a computer screen.
Well, I already got a problem here. The whole white supremacist meme needs to die. These demonstrators were peaceful alt-righters, mostly just conservatives actually, by my estimation. So let's not just label them as evil white supremacists right out the gate here. And as far as them meeting behind computer screens, well, it is current year. Everyone meets behind a computer screen at some point. It's not a right-wing alt-right thing. Both sides use computers. Everyone does. People from all walks of life meet behind them.
And a lot of that organizing happened through a messaging service called Discord, which was originally created to connect video game players to one another. This is just the latest in the long-running shared history between the gaming community and the alt-right.
Wow, that's quite the image you've drummed up here. The thing is though, again, the internet and Discord are used by people from all the political parties. Crazies, normies, and even Canadians all use the internet and Discord to connect. It's not an alt-right thing. And for the record, alt-right isn't some evil white supremacist kill all the minorities kind of group. But we don't need to get into all that, because the point is NBC is falsely connecting them with the Discord chatting service and gaming.
Gaming culture has always been racist, it's always been sexist, but the internet has sort of allowed us to just sort of see what has always been there.
Emma Vossen is a PhD candidate studying how sexism seeded in gaming is replicated in the real world.
Well, I sure hope this PhD candidate is never allowed to finish their degree, because she sounds like an idiot. Gaming has not always been sexist and racist. Not at all. What's sexist and racist about the original Mario Brothers game? Please, I'd love to know. What, is it rescuing the princess? Is playing as a male character sexist now? I don't think so. And it certainly wasn't back then, before all this PC stuff took over the planet. Now, my best guess is she's talking about things that happen online, especially with competitive multiplayer games. You know, all the shit-talking people do on there, calling each other names and stuff. If you want to talk about online multiplayer, then let's talk about that section. But first, before we do, don't translate that into all of gaming. Multiplayer is only one fraction of the gaming sphere. I would say most people have always focused on single-player games, and multiplayer has always just been a fun addition. Sure, nowadays multiplayer online is getting bigger and bigger, but I think it's still a safe bet that it only covers about half of all gaming. Next, let's talk about the supposed racism and sexism that's always been in gaming. Needless to say, that's a totally bogus accusation, which I can only guess comes from the people who are talking shit in multiplayer gaming. Shit talking which isn't meant to be taken seriously, or actually racist or sexist. It's a fucking joke, NBC. They're not actually trying to be offensive. Well, they're being edgy. They're not trying to be racist or sexist. They don't mean it. Basically, NBC's taking jokes and banner out of context and framing it up as real honest statements. And I won't stand for that. People try to do that to me all the time.
Her study is based on Gamergate, a movement that began with intimidating and harassing female video game journalists under the guise of fairness in video game journalism.
Correction, Gamergate was about fairness in gaming journalism. That shit's corrupt as hell. But left-leaning biased news sources like NBC claimed it was all about sexism and attacking hack reporters. Reporters who did glowing reviews of stuff if they got fucked by opportunists like Zoe Quinn, who fucked her way into the gaming business and used her pussy power to get her dumbass Depression Quest game made. I mean, how the fuck else do you think a company would greenlight a game about depression? Seriously, games are supposed to be about fun and escaping reality, not about depression and shitty parts of our boring day-to-day. Might as well play a game called Being Bored on a Saturday Simulator, or Going to the Orthodontist. Can't wait to see what it's like to play those boring sims.
The harassment quickly gained traction. It helped catalyze the alt-right movement, which secured power and prominence during the 2016 election cycle.
I don't think so, lady. Gamergate wasn't a catalyst for the alt-right. They've been around for a long while. Sure, they got more traction last year when the right-wingers came up and won the election with Trump, but they were around before that. Basically, Gamergate has little to nothing to do with the alt-right. Perhaps there's some overlap of the people involved, but that's it.
As people who are marginalized are fighting for equality, those who've traditionally had privilege, especially white men, feel that they are being oppressed by these people who are trying to just be treated as equal.
privilege? White men? I think we see where this is going. This wannabe smart gal PhD student obviously buys into the whole SJW agenda. White people have privilege and white men are evil. That sort of thing. I feel like the only connection they've got between Gamergate and the alt-right is that they both have white men involved. That's it. And that's pretty fucking thin considering we live in a white majority country. Fucking morons.
Xbox Live and PlayStation Network both allow players to chat live while gaming. They have become havens for hate speech against women and minorities.
What I had noticed and witnessed was what I call like linguistic profiling, like just based on how somebody sounds. You know, they kind of lash out in like very like inappropriate ways.
If you can't handle shit talking online, quit playing the game. It's pretty simple. Or you could just turn the sound off. Now, I'm not going to defend racist and anti-black or anti-Jewish shit, these statements, the stuff they're saying online, because I don't need to. Anyone with half a brain knows it was just edgy humor. This is gamers being sensational and over the top online. They're either very happy they won or super pissed they got killed in a game, so they say something radical. This is basically a kind of safe space for gamers, if you think about it. The one place they can say anything they want without being judged. Playing Call of Duty or Overwatch and getting on the microphone with your boys is about the only last place where you can say over the top and offensive shit anymore. But NBC just can't stand that, can they? It's been okay for years and years, but now that gaming enters the mainstream more and more, women and SJWs want to take it over, of course, and put their gay little PC rules all over it. It's fucking bananas. If they can have their safe spaces online, at colleges, and wherever, where they can talk shit about white people and men, and be serious about it, I might add. They're not being jokey or edgy when they say white men are the devil. They condemn whites openly and genuinely, daily. And I don't agree with those points, but sure, they can have their stupid little meetings and talk about it in social justice leaning classes all they want. I don't give a shit. We're not trying to shut them down, but they are trying to shut down gamers and others like us because they're entitled and lack any self-awareness here. And I think they're just jelly because people like games more than they like SJW dogma nonsense.
Who votes for mission? They allow girls to play Call of Duty in America?
Wow, they allow morons to play Call of Duty in America?
Not everyone in the gaming community is sexist or racist. We are having this sort of internal cultural problem with sexist and racist gamers.
The other thing here is this policing of other people's communities. NBC and this wannabe PhD girl here, they're doing the same kind of shit that Anita Sarkeesian does. They're trying to jump into a popular male forum, gaming, and tell them what to do and how to act and what games to make and play. Get the fuck out of here, you dull bitches. Find your own hobbies, or start your own games and gaming groups. Stop tone policing everyone else. You're not helping anything. You just look like petty, whiny bitches. In fact, you know what? Telling kids like this to be more polite and politically correct, that's just going to make us want to be more controversial and edgy. For example, Hitler didn't do anything wrong. Can't wait to see someone quote that as a serious quote after this video. Believe me, it happens all the time. NBC isn't the only one taking people out of context. That shit's been happening to me daily. Also, is this Friday the 13th video game footage supposed to show sexism? Really? Yeah, he's killing a woman, but so what? Jason kills everyone in that game. And sure, you could argue there's some sexist themes in the Friday the 13th movies, but hardly the game. Plus, the horror genre is notorious for having the final girl. The last survivor is always a woman, and typically a virgin. But black people do get screwed over in Jason movies. I will give you that.
So, what happens when these behaviors move from the gaming world to the real world? Keegan Hanks studies the progression of the alt-right on the web.
Discord as a platform kind of had a meteoric rise in the alt-right. You know, I think many of the members of the alt-right were actually aware of it because they were also members of the video game community. Many of them are. Discord became almost a requirement for a lot of these people if you wanted to be actively involved in the movement.
I guess this is the next step in the evolution of blaming things on gamers. First, it was violence and shootings blamed on violent video games in the 90s, which of course has been debunked repeatedly. Video games do not make kids violent. They're actually a good stress reliever. That's an alternative outlet to violence. It makes people less violent, really. And now the media is blaming the rise of the alt-right on video games in the present? What's next? Global warming is going to be caused by too many people playing PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds? Give me a break. This isn't why the alt-right came to prominence. It happened because of the pro-SJW, anti-male, and anti-white shit that's been championed in the public during the Obama administration for the last 8 years. If you shit on us white men long enough, yeah, we're going to form groups and fucking stand up for ourselves. And I don't see what's wrong with that. It's the same thing the Latinos do in Los Angeles for their own causes in local elections. And blacks have been banding together with Black Lives Matter across the country. And that seems to be fine with NBC, but for some reason it's wrong and racist and nefarious when white guys do it. Nigga, please. The fact that this video talks down to white guys and their movements is part of the reason these movements became necessary in the first place. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Discord is anonymous and lightly monitored, which allowed the alt-right to control communications and access for thousands of users. Some Discord servers controlled by alt-right leaders made users post pictures of their Caucasian skin in order to participate.
Skin verification to get into Discord servers. That's actually pretty hilarious. But the story is also leaving out the part where Discord is shutting down alt-right chat rooms now. First it was open season there, but unfortunately pressure from PC groups like NBC got to them.
This allowed the alt-right to centralize its message and disseminate information around the Charlottesville rallies. Discord service played a substantial role in fomenting the riots that led to the death of Heather Heyer. After facing pressure, Discord shut down the servers used to organize in Charlottesville.
I hope you're not implying Discord servers caused Heather Heyer to get killed, because it sure sounded like you did that, NBC, and that's pretty fucking scandalous if you ask me. Discord is an app for chat rooms and messaging. That's it. People have been using it more lately because it works well, and it has lots of good features. Just because the alt-right has some groups on there doesn't mean Discord and gaming are responsible for anything. Discord is a means to an end. It's a platform that can be used by anyone. If people didn't use the chat rooms there, they would just do it on Facebook or another website. Also, another note, Discord isn't just for gamers. Sure, it started as a place for gamers and there's lots of gaming groups on there, but that doesn't mean gamers are to blame for the alt-right having a chat room there. Are gamers to blame for every chat room on Discord now? I don't think so. Now back to Heather Heyer. First of all, it's terrible she died, of course, but to blame the alt-right for killing her is an obvious stretch. I say she's mostly responsible for herself here, kinda like how we all are. She wasn't pulled out of her home at gunpoint and shot in cold blood. She came to a peaceful alt-right rally to protest violently with Antifa. On top of that, she was standing in the road trying to block traffic. Now, I know I'll get charged with victim blaming here, but come on. Heyer was playing with fire, and she almost got run over by a tire. I'm sorry, I should not make that joke. That's a little too far. Bring it back. Bring it back, Brooks. So if you couple her playing with fire with the fact that she died from a heart attack for being overweight and out of shape, well, I'd say she bears most of the blame here. Would have been real easy for her to stay home that day and be just fine now. And there's certainly no way you can pin her death back to the alt-right and then to Discord and then to gamers? Jesus Christ, NBC. Are you getting ready to run a mile or a marathon or something? Because you're stretching an awful lot here today.
The company stated, "We will continue to take action against white supremacy, Nazi ideology, and all forms of hate." Perhaps not surprisingly, James Alex Fields Jr., the white supremacist charged for Heyer's death, was no stranger to video games.
Not surprisingly, the guy who killed Heyer played video games? Are you kidding me? This shit gets more and more ridiculous each passing second. Let me let you in on a little secret, NBC. Almost all guys play video games. I would guess 80 to 90%. So this correlation you're trying to make here is fucking retarded. You might as well say the murderer not surprisingly uses toilet paper. Toilet paper that came from the grocery store, which is facilitating the alt-right now.
In 2010, his mother filed a complaint against him, claiming he struck her in the head and locked her in the bathroom because she told him to stop playing video games.
Looks like this video was made almost completely by women. Why am I not surprised? Obviously the writers and producers don't know shit about gaming. They probably still call them Nintendos. Oh, and don't get me wrong, there are plenty of girl gamers out there, despite this NBC video not being made by them. And the fact that there are girls in gaming kinda negates the whole sexist point here. And as for the racism, I'm pretty sure all races play games too. In the end, this NBC video is pretty much a textbook example of manipulating facts in order to reach a predefined conclusion. They wanted to slam gamers and tie them to the alt-right, Charlottesville, and the death of Heather Heyer. So that's what they went out and did. The problem is, it's not true, so the result was this video full of lying and manipulation, and it was pretty obvious. Gaming isn't a super political, activist type group. Gamers are just that, people who play games. Everyone does it now. There's no one specific demographic that plays games anymore. Sure, you could say there's more men who play games than women, but as far as politics and belief systems, they're all over the place. Republicans and Democrats play Super Mario games. Straights, gays, and transgenders play Minecraft. Christians and Jews and Muslims like to play Mortal Kombat or Sonic the Hedgehog. Not Sonic Forces though, I hear that's terrible. So this idea that gamers are all sexist, racist, homophobic alt-righters is fucking ludicrous. The only thing this video has proven is that NBC is a very dishonest news outlet who will do whatever it takes to slam gamers and right-wingers. Perhaps they're still salty about losing Gamergate and the 2016 election. What do you guys think? Did gamers facilitate the rise of the alt-right? Is Discord a hotbed for racists, sexists, and Nazis? And who peed in NBC's cornflakes this morning? Because it seems like they have a bone to pick with this one. Comment your thoughts below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit, and thanks again to GetTheTea.com for sponsoring our video today. Make sure you check out their website and phone number. They got loads of great teas and health supplements, including D365 and colostrum, which help build muscle. I take them myself, and they're perfect for all the alpha males watching out there. Thanks again for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time.
Yeah.